Pete, I wanted to pivot back to, I guess, maybe it's a myth, maybe it's fact, I'm not sure. A question that, or maybe an objection we get from a lot of internal IT teams, right, around that buying new servers in their office versus using, a data center to host their infrastructure. The standard conception is that it's too expensive. Why would I do that? It's so much cheaper just buying a server and putting it in my server room and just getting my own cooling and locking it in a cabinet and that kind of thing. What do you say back to that?
The main issue there is that there's a whole lot of costs which that person isn't seeing when they do it internally. So if you've got an office and you go and put a whole lot of servers in the server closet, it just goes on the power bill along with everything else in the office. So the person who's put them there doesn't actually see that their power bill has gone up by $3,000 a month.
Doesn't come out of IT budget.
No, exactly. It doesn't come out of IT budget. And look, I've actually had lots of discussions with clients where they've said to me that it's a real problem for them to build a business case to put their equipment into a data center because they can't actually quantify the amount of power that they're using where they are. And if they stay where they are, the power they're using goes on someone else's budget, not theirs. And so for them to actually be paying for it is a concern. And the power that they're using, let's think about it. If you've just taken the server closet in your office and you've put a couple of split system air conditioners in there to try and cool all this stuff, it's probably really inefficient. So, what we do as data center operators is work to try and deliver that cooling in the most efficient way it can possibly be done. And if you look at there's the metric power usage effectiveness, or PUE, you often hear talked about in the data center industry. Now, when I came into this industry, having a PUE of 2 was considered good, which basically means for every 1 unit of compute capacity, you use the equivalent amount of energy to cool it and to run the facility. Now, that very quickly got brought back. Once it sort of came into focus, PUEs sort of came down to be sort of 1.5, 1.4, 1.3, and that's sort of about where the industry's sitting now for most facilities, and that's sort of dependent on what climate they operate in and a few other things. But there is no way that your server closet with a couple of split system air conditioners is running at a PUE of 1.3. So, all of those sort of things which, unfortunately to the IT guy, are probably not quantifiable, but they need to be considered. And that's not even going into the fact of, again, think about how important your IT equipment is. Should you really be trusting it to the building infrastructure, which could randomly be turned off by the building manager? Look, it's not uncommon in an office building for them to decide on the weekend, hey, we're going to turn the power off all weekend while we do an upgrade on a switchboard, or they turn the cooling off because they need to do some work on a chiller or something like that. You can't have that happen to your IT equipment.